Hey guys, so this is Darryl from the Ignited Minds, and in today's video I'm gonna give you 4 very in-depth tips to master the art of controlling your inner Satan within you. You know, in your mind, body and spirit lives a creature known to many in the past as Angel and Satan, which I shall refer them as your inner voices in your heads. Satan may not look like he's harming you, but he's indeed pairing up with time and killing you slowly and progressively without you really knowing. You know that feeling when you're on a diet? Let's say you did great for 3 months straight. Then one day, your friend takes you out on lunch and she brings you to the finest fast food restaurant for burgers and fries. You know, deep down, you shouldn't give in to your temptation as it is only Thursday, with cheat days supposedly on the weekends. The inner voice within yourself is now telling you, "Come on Darryl, just for today man. Why not?" And the more you try to reject your inner Satan within you, the stronger the temptation becomes. It is perfectly normal. It is normal human psychological behavior to react in that way. So let's get started on the 4 tips to master the art of controlling your inner Satan within you. So tip number 1 is acknowledging your inner Satan. There's no such thing as a perfect inner voice. Let's go back to the hamburger scenario. Imagine the world without balance. Yin and yang does not exist at all. Meaning to say that there is no inner Satan in your inner voice. So your inner angel just comes and say, "Ditch the hamburger, Darryl. Just grab that bowl of salad." This time, you effortlessly eat the bowl of salad without feeling restrained at all. Zero contemplating and zero temptations. Would life still be interesting? Obviously not, right? How are you gonna improve yourself without proper acknowledgement? It is just not possible. When you can fully acknowledge your inner Satan, only then are you able to control and tame him down. Ever heard of this quote? Successful people acknowledge the mistakes and failures and slowly try to improve on it to become the best version of themselves. Now, going back to tip number 1, acknowledging your inner Satan. Since the start of humanity, living within and together with us is something called our inner voices. Not only will they be with us throughout our whole lifespan, they also guide us like a silent voice of reasoning. I bet you can imagine the consequences if you follow the wrong inner voice. This is why some people are more impulsive and fickle-minded in decision making than others. Since our inner voices are always within us, we tend to lose conscious of its very existence. Sometimes you do not even know you made a bad choice or decision until Mr. Consequences decides to come pay you a little visit. Once you start acknowledging and feel you are completely aware and conscious of your inner Satan, only then you can enter the right state of mind, opening a pathway to a future so bright that people can only dream of. Tip number 2 is just doing it. I really couldn't emphasize more of this, and I'm not even lying. Let me start by telling you a little story. It is called The Dreadful Visit to the Dentist. Anyway, years back, I met this friend of mine. Let's call him John. John taught me a very valuable way to controlling your inner voice. But first, imagine this. You're gonna go to the dentist tomorrow, but you are always afraid of visiting the dentist. So you kept contemplating and never showing up. One eternity later. you notice your gums start receding. You know that no matter what, you gotta visit the dentist this time. So your inner Satan comes back and starts telling you, don't go, it will hurt like crazy. And your inner angel says, please go, it is beneficial for you, Darryl. And then your inner satanic voice starts coming on stronger than ever, saying, just do something like brushing your teeth cleaner and flossing it more regularly, or just go next week. And your next week never comes. Tomorrow never comes, right? And this is what I like to call contemplation. It is also the #1 killer to many individuals' success. A person who contemplates lesser is more likely to succeed than a person who contemplates about anything he does. If you start contemplating about everything and anything you do, it starts forming into a habit. Anyway, just a fun fact here. Basal ganglia is the part of the brain which controls the aspect of habit building. Let's go back to the friend of mine. John gave me a piece of advice which hit me really hard. He said, when you're afraid of going to the dentist, just go to the dentist. When you're afraid of skydiving from the plane, just jump. You're afraid of touching an alligator, just touch it. You want to start an online business? Do it. The extremely important part here is that the moment you let your mind think otherwise, for example, what if the dentist is a psychopath? You have already lost half the battle. Never let your mind enter that state. It is just like meditation. Empty your mind and just do it. If you think about it in a logical point of view, in what way would it benefit or help you if you're thinking about the pain before visiting the dentist? It just raises your level of anxiety. The thing you need to know is that pain and failure are bound to happen. Don't let your inner Satan lead you into thinking of failure when you haven't even started. Instead of wasting time worrying, use that time to learn from the pain and failures. And this is how you become a stronger person mentally, spiritually, and physically. So I followed John's advice and told myself that I will go to the dentist the next day. I used to suffer from ADHD, also known as attention deficit disorder, when I was younger. But I still refrained myself from listening to my excessive negative voices and just told myself that I'm just gonna go. So the next day, I just went to the dentist, and in less than an hour, I was done. Even though going to the dentist was really a small thing, but I felt brilliant. The moral of the story here is, I finally conquered my inner Satan, which has been happily manipulating me for years. The sense of accomplishment I felt was indescribable. So moving on to tip number 3. Practicing till it becomes a habit. Just like how going to the gym as often as you can builds into a habit into your subconscious mind, the repetitive cycle of doing the same thing sets your mind in autopilot so that it is not as difficult as it is if you compare it with day number 1, as it is already instilled in your subconscious. But to achieve this state, you gotta do something consistently for at least a month straight. Tip number 4 is never giving up. This may sound really simple, but trust me, it is not. It takes a great amount of willpower to keep pushing forward. But at the end of the day, it'll be all worth it. Always make use of the benefits of the beautiful outcome of something to motivate yourself from giving up. Another way to think of is that when you give up doing something for more than a week straight, your mind loses its touch and starts going back to being lazy. and all the habits you tried so hard to build will revert back to zero. And to make matters worse, for you to get back to your prime, you need to experience what I like to call the bitterness of restarting. And you gotta continue restarting the thing you were doing all over again, consistently for another month straight. It's such a big of a hassle, so why not just keep pushing forward? Now, for the most important question. How do you know if you have succeeded or shown progress of growth in conquering and making your inner Satan quieter? It's really simple. When the contemplating between your inner Satan and angel is quieter and it takes less of an effort to start exercising and going to the gym. Now, to recap the 4 tips. Tip number 1 is acknowledging your inner Satan. Only when you acknowledge the fact that the inner Satan in you is there, only then are you able to control and tame him down. Successful people acknowledge the mistakes and failures. They then try to learn and improve on it. How are you gonna improve if you don't acknowledge your mistakes? Tip number 2 is just doing it. Don't let your mind go into thinking about failure and pain when you haven't even started. If you want to go skydiving, do it. Want to start a business? Do it. Tip number 3 is practicing till it becomes a habit. Just like how going to the gym as often as you can builds into a habit, the repetitive cycle of doing the same thing sets your mind on autopilot. And tip number 4, never give up. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on controlling your own inner Satan. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more awesome weekly contents. And be sure to check out my next upcoming video on Yin and Yang is no bullshit. Stay tuned.